Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Dr. Shiva Ayadure. I'm sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. Anyway, I haven't done a live in a long time. I've been doing a lot of work, as you know, with our team on the ground. We've been doing a lot of, traveling all over the state on our bus. And we're building up an amazing groundswell of volunteers, working people. Our volunteers, none of our volunteers get paid. They're working people who are taking time off their jobs to help us. But anyway, this is my new studio I've set up. I have my books over here, other books that I like, but I'm happy to be back. I will start doing multiple videos per day. It's a tremendous amount of effort for me to put those videos together, particularly those science videos. So we have a whole series coming up, but in some ways today is about really starting anew. For the last 3-4 months, I spoke out vehemently about exposing the fear mongering of the coronavirus and the implications that it had for the economy, for freedom of speech, and also healthcare, mandated medicine, truth, freedom, and health. And then I also spoke about racism. And what's interesting is if you look at where we're standing today in the United States, the two of the most important and critical issues right now are racism, which is being used to divide people up, and the coronavirus fear mongering, and broadly about science, about freedom, about healthcare, truth, freedom, and health. So I find myself in a very interesting position. It almost feels like my entire work, my life's work, has brought me to this point in history to serve, hopefully, in a judicious and productive way. So what I wanted to do today was to really share with you, without hyperbole, without exaggeration, why our campaign in Massachusetts, I believe, is one of probably the most important political campaign, for that matter, of this century, but in modern times, a very historic one. The Trump election of 2016 was a historic one because it was something that really sort of created a lot of disruption, a lot, in my view, of necessary disruption to a system of politics among the Republican establishment, among the Democrat establishment, the elites, who basically thought that they were going to control everything, and they never expected Donald Trump to win. So whether you like Donald Trump or not, he did a historic duty by creating the level of disruption, which in many ways created the environment for someone like me to even want to run. So before I start, let me say hello to people who are joining. We have people coming in from Massachusetts, Westchester, people coming from Massachusetts, Westchester County, Westboro in Massachusetts, Beverly, Massachusetts, New Zealand. Thank you. God bless you too. Tampa, Florida, Wisconsin, Malaysia, Arkansas. Thank you. Love you too. Missouri. And it keeps going and going and going. So we have a lot of great people joining. As you know, Seattle, our campaign is, the message of our campaign has really inspired people all over the world, all over this country, in Massachusetts. And before I start, I want to play something for you, which you can go to our website and you can get. So I want to play our campaign video. Then I'm going to talk about why this is such an important campaign, and how you can actually participate. I must get tens of thousands of emails and messages. I thank you for those wonderful, lovely messages. We've been getting so many letters, people donating to us. We've created a lot of conversation, but in the next 50 days, I'm going to need everyone's help in a very simple way, which I'll talk about before we end. But let me begin by doing something, which is to really, first of all, go to our website and share with everyone something very, very important that some of you may have already seen. But if you go to our website, shivaforsenate.com, we've made the website a little bit easier. We've put home, we put Meet Dr. Shiva, we put all of our issues right up front. The fact is that we're running on September 1st is a primary election. We have to win that. We win that, we'll win the whole thing. There's our store events, etc. And then there's the important area volunteer. Before I go into that, what I want to share with you is this video, which is our campaign video. So I'm going to start it And let me make it a little bit bigger so everyone can hear it. And let me play it right here.
Who would have ever thought I'd be running for United States Senate? I was born a low caste untouchable in India's caste system, a system of aristocracy, oppression, and racism. My name is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. I'm an MIT PhD, a Fulbright scholar, a scientist, entrepreneur, and inventor. My family and I left India to come to America on my 7th birthday. I grew up in the working class neighborhoods of New Jersey, playing baseball, mowing lawns, painting houses, and coding software. My friends and neighbors are Black, Italians, Irish, people of all races. As a 14-year-old, I created the world's first email system, long before I ever heard of MIT. Growing up, I saw politicians dividing us by race and religion, in America or India, to have us fighting each other while they were safe in their gated communities with their lawyers by their side. I'm a fighter. I fought racism, exposed their imperialist wars, fought for workers, and put my life on the line against global corruption. I never wanted to run for political office. All that changed in 2016. Americans rose up against the establishment. We remembered we had all left a world of injustice to come to America to make a better life. We realized lawyers, academics, and politicians, elites, Clintons, Romneys, Kennedys, Obamas, Bushes, black and white, had hijacked America. They gave bailouts to their friends. They delivered crumbling infrastructure, corruption, and racism, dividing black and white, killing us, fear-mongering and fake science, lockdowns and censorship, dirty air, food, and water, pushing drugs upon us, making us sicker. We've been sold out. One set of rules for them, another for us. We deserve a warrior with a history of courage who will put everything on the line for you. It's time to fight and win back America. That's why I'm running for U.S. Senate. This race is about truth, freedom, and health versus power, profit, and control. We've had enough. They think we'll fall in line and vote again for their lawyers who get them off crimes. They never can represent us. What America needs is digital rights. We need citizen science. We need real health with no middlemen. We don't have time. We must do it now. We don't need them. We need us to go bottoms up, neighbor to neighbor. My journey, your journey are all the same. It's our time. It's time we add one of us. It's time we make America great for all of us. Vote for Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai on September 1st.
Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. It's a very interesting thing. Some of you may not know, I actually I have 4 degrees from MIT. One of my degrees is actually in design and animation. I love doing art. So when I put those pieces together, I typically do the writing, I figure out the images, and I have a great guy who puts all the videos and music together, John Medlar. So it's a creative process that I enjoy, but it's about capturing a message. And I think we nailed it there in those 2 minutes because we wanted to get it really good. So what I'd like people to do is, if you go to Shiva for Senate, please share that. Share that amazing video, because it's really a video that's your video. It's our story. It's not a story of my story, but it's our story of how we're going to get truth, freedom, and health. So I encourage you all to go to the site, and it's right off the front page. Share this with as many people as you know. We have to win this election. And I'll tell you why we have to win. I never do anything unless it's with a singular purpose. When I ran last time, in some ways it was putting my toe in the water when I ran against Elizabeth Warren. But this time it's much more serious, meaning that we have to win, meaning you have to win, I have to win, all of us have to win. What's happened in this country, for that matter in the world, particularly in the United States though, is that we've created an environment where we're starting to lose some of the most important values that make us human. And what I want to touch upon today is the central point is we're at an inflection point. If you study calculus or if you take geometry, you'll find out that an inflection point is where you have a curve, and at a certain point it can go up, it can make a significant change in rate. It's called the second derivative or the first derivative, or it can go into a different direction. Particularly it's a second derivative that changes a lot, calculus. But anyway, that point is called an inflection point. And I would argue 2020, September 2020 is going to be an important date because that's a primary election, and November 2020 is a general election. Those 2 points are going to be very, very important inflection points, I believe, in world and human history. And whether you're in Massachusetts, whether you're outside of Massachusetts, whether you're outside of the United States, I would argue that the center point of that inflection point is right here in Massachusetts. Why am I saying that? You see, what's happened for far too long is that people who participate in politics have always had to be the wealthy, the people who are the insiders, the lawyers. 60% of the United States Congress is lawyers. It's insiders. And these people are not motivated to really solve problems. They are completely irresponsible of having to solve problems. If you're a mother, if you're a father, if you work for a living, if you have customers, if you have a small business, I run 3 different businesses. I've had to solve problems all my life. I've had to figure out, why was there a caste system? How would I succeed in the midst of that? How was I going to survive as I moved to the United States in a very new world as a working class kid where it was all new? How was I going to excel at MIT in a world that I really didn't want to be a part of? But yet I figured out that it was important to learn as much as I could there. So I've had to solve problems. I've started 7 different highly successful companies, and those companies were about solving problems. And when you have to solve a problem, you know this, if you have family, if you have a business or whatever you're doing, it's beyond left or right. It's beyond whatever your ideology is. It's about figuring out what works. And what's happened in the world is politicians, particularly these lawyers, they're all scumbags, most of these lawyers. Maybe one, and by the way, a lot of people I know are lawyers, they actually say, Shiva, you're absolutely right. You know, we have way too many insiders. We need fresh blood. So what's happened is the lawyer economy, the lawyer class, they actually are considered aristocracy, as I've said, esquire. And that lawyer class loves it. Their entire business model is based on creating a problem and prolonging the problem. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. In Massachusetts right now, I'm the only non-lawyer running for United States Senate. 2 Democrats who are lawyers and 1 rhino Republican. Think about that. Why do these 3 people think that they should even be running? And the press will never cover me because all those 3 guys, Democrat and Republican establishment, are part of the establishment. So this election is important because you're looking at someone who's one of you, one of us. And what I'm talking about is my life, your life has been about solving problems. I solved a very interesting problem when I created email, converting the entire interoffice mail system into the electronic version. I went on to MIT where I solved many problems. I was on the front page of MIT for solving many, it got many awards. Created many companies. One of the companies I created had to solve the problem of major corporations getting inundated with messages and how you would automatically sort them. Otherwise, these companies could not respond. That was EchoMail. Then I went and solved the problem of trying to understand how to model the entire human cell on the computer so we could discover medicines that work faster, cheaper, and safer without killing animals. It was an extraordinary problem I took on. I then went after the big problem of integrating Eastern and Western medicine. That created Systems Health. And then I wanted to really create a certification of what was really good, clean, healthy food. And that created a Clean Food Certified. If people want to experience what I'm talking about, you can literally go to my personal website, which I have all of that documented. Let me go over here so you can see that. So you get an idea of this is something that I've done my whole life. So if you go to vashiva.com, this is my personal website. And what you'll see at this website are the different kinds of things that I've been focused on solving. So if you go here, you'll see that there's the invention of email, but you'll also see beyond the invention of email, you'll notice, so there's a Senate website, but you'll also notice on vashiva.com that there are the different kinds of things that I focus on, different kinds of companies that I've built, and you can go and check them out. For example, here, you can go right here and check out, there's the, let me go over here. So there's Cytosolve. If you have a chance, go check out Cytosolve. Cytosolve was a company that I created that really allows us to model the entire human cell on the computer. It was a revolutionary invention that now is helping us to identify what products, what foods, what combinations work. So if you have a chance, go check that out. The other thing that I had the opportunity to do was actually to go, I think I went there if you guys saw that, okay, is to create Systems Health. And then we went, and then I created a very extraordinary tool called Clean Food Certified. If you go to major stores, you'll see this logo called Clean Food, and it's a very powerful seal that came out of scientifically analyzing food to figure out, are they non-GMO, are they organic, high bioavailability, nutrient density, et cetera. And that's a clean certification. So the point is, my entire life, like yours, has been about solving problems. That's what it's been about. It's not been about hanging out, being a lawyer, creating contracts. By the way, I probably could do the job of better than most lawyers, running multiple companies. I've done all sorts of contract negotiations, and I challenge any lawyer to see if they or I can do a contract better. But regardless of that, my life, your life, has been about looking at a problem, looking at a situation, a complex system, figuring out what the real problem is, and coming up with a innovative solution, and bringing together people. And all my companies had to bring together 100 people, 50 people, people with all different kinds of backgrounds, and make them work together to solve that problem. That's what we need. We don't need politicians anymore. We don't need this left-right thinking. We don't need lawyers, particularly. I'm running again against 3 numbskull lawyers, one who's been there 50 years, one who thinks he owns the Senate seat, Kennedy, if you listen to him talk, it almost feels like your soul is getting pulled out of you because there's nothing there. And another fool in the Republican establishment who has like 100 Twitter followers, can barely talk. So what I want to share with you is that we've got to a world where we have created such a world of talking heads, such a disrespect for skills, because the educational system has become one of indoctrination, not one of valuing skills, that people aren't able to tell the difference of who's skilled and who isn't. So now sports, you can, if you look at a Michael Jordan or a Shaquille O'Neal, those guys have skills compared to a kid who's probably playing, little league basketball. Okay. Well, in science, in engineering, you have that same difference. And with all due respect, I was the first person to expose Fauci because I'm on that level at a major league level, at an all-star level. So I could see Fauci, I could look on him and see a fraud. And I was the first one to call him out as a scientist, as a practicing scientist. No one else called him out until I did. After that, the lemmings came along to try to watch which way the wind blew in terms of views and hits and et cetera. People like the Kennedys, or people like, the other people you can see out there. These people have no skill. They're lawyers. They watch which way the wind blows. The talking heads, a lot of grifters on the internet. We can't afford that moving forward for this country. We need people with skills. Those 4 degrees at MIT were not easy to get. Starting 7 companies and making a lot of money is not easy. And people have forgotten those skills that it takes to do those kinds of things, how to bring people together, how to solve problems. You and I deserve people with skills. And what we have in Massachusetts is a center of the aristocracy. This is where everything, all the crap blossoms out of Massachusetts. All the crap. Elizabeth Warren crap, Charlie Baker crap, who's a governor, all of them. Racism, the liberal elites are the ones that create racism in Massachusetts, and then they innovate it and they test it and they unleash it. Harvard University is a center of racism. It's the one that creates racism. It's a center of economic poverty. It's a center of manipulating people. It's a center of pharmaceutical, big pharma. It's a center of everything you hate. And that's right here in Massachusetts. I've been fortunate. For some reason, fate sent me here. I got all their degrees. I've learned everything about them, and I know how to win for you. And you won't find another candidate like myself with all these background who even wants to run for political office. A guy like me is not supposed to run. I don't need to run. But America needs someone like me. And I say that again with all humility, because we're at that inflection point. We need to take on the issues of division and what is a root cause of that division. We call it racism. I've experienced racism across 2 continents. I experienced it in racism on steroids, growing up as a kid in India in the caste system. And then I experienced it all throughout my life, life here, because I couldn't survive getting a C or B. I had to get an A++. And even when I got that, I wouldn't get the credit I deserve. That's what my mother told me. You're going to have to work 10 times harder. Even after the facts are so obvious that email was invented in New Jersey, you can see racist Wikipedia. But the biggest racists are right here in Massachusetts, the liberal elites, a multiracial aristocracy of liberal elites. I understand the dynamics of racism. And I can tell you racism is not what the liberal elites have called it. Black Lives Matter is not about fighting racism. Neither is Elizabeth Warren, neither are the Kennedys, neither are the Clintons, neither are the Bidens. But I can tell you the solution to racism comes from the source, which was to divide people up into little boxes and to try to keep people divided for economic reasons. So the white guy who's from the South must be a Klansman. So you put him there, hillbilly. The Indian guy must shake his head and be quiet, a good Indian, and just work at Microsoft and shut the hell up, and so on. And we've created these divisions. And using those divisions, those in power manipulate us. And every election cycle, they pull out the race card. And their GOP establishment denies there's racism. Therefore, the Democratic establishment has defined it in a very narrow way. Don't use the N-word, political correctness, and affirmative action. No, the real racism is putting people in boxes and telling them when they leave their boxes, we're going to lynch you. And I know that because when I was at MIT, I was on the front page because I was a good Indian for all the awards and all the great things I did. But when I said email was created before I came to MIT, then I became all sorts of things to the establishment. The fact that I went out of my neighborhood, you see, out of my box, which was a 14-year-old dark-skinned Indian American immigrant kid in Newark, New Jersey, inventing email, blows the establishment's minds. They're the racists. Wikipedia is a racist. So now I have the solution for racism. You know what the solution is for racism? First, we need to identify the enemy. And the enemy of racism, who perpetrates racism, is a multiracial liberal aristocracy. It's not the white working class. It's not working people. It's them. They need racism. They want to divide us up so we don't recognize who the real enemy is. And look at me. I got so many different races in me. Probably African blood. I have Native American blood. I have all things. And so do you. By the way, it turns out genetically you cannot figure out who's what race. But phenotypically, the human mind is created to, bucket people. And these people in power take advantage of that. But the way we're going to bring this country together is to take these problems and solve them. And to solve them, you need someone like me, someone like the founders of this country who had skills, Washington, Jefferson, Franklin. These people were amazing, skilled people. They were children of the Enlightenment. They studied science, engineering. They knew how to make stuff. And that's the turning point we're at. We're at a turning point in this country that we have to start valuing people who actually work for a living, who actually know something, who sweated, studied, built things. And when we create a culture where people cannot tell, when they can tell the difference between, Michael Jordan and a Farm League kid, but they cannot tell the difference between a Shiva Ayyadurai and a Joe Kennedy or an Ed Malarkey, that's a dangerous problem. And I'm here to tell you there's a big difference. Those people have never solved the problem. They create problems. All those lawyer lobbyists. And what I need from you, what you need from you, is to make sure that Shiva for Senate, that I get elected in Massachusetts in 2020. That's what you need for yourself and your family. Because when we win, first of all, we have the primary, September 1st. 2020 is a primary. The Democrats have their primary, Markey and Kennedy. Kennedy's likely going to win that. I have a primary. The GOP establishment did not want to give me a straight shot. They found a complete fool, an idiot. And they're probably going to try to maneuver him in. That's why we must win the primary. I win the primary. It's going to be me against Joe Kennedy, an aristocrat running as a Democrat versus a working class kid who busted his buns all the way forever. And that is you. It's one of us is what you need. So September 1st is our primary. And all of you out there, what I need from you is we need another 200 people to give 1 hour a day for the next 30 days, just 1 hour a day. And you could do that 1 hour, 10 minutes in the beginning of the day, 10 minutes in the end, whatever you want. You can split it up to help us make phone calls. And we have created a methodology that you can use your iPhone, you can use your Android, and you can use any computer. It won't be your phone number. We've set up some very nice technology that you can help us make phone calls. That's what we need from you. We need 200 people to give us 1 hour of your day for this historic moment to help us make phone calls. And how can you do that? You can literally go to the website, to Shiva for Senate. So everyone go up to shivaforsenate.com. Let me go there right now. Let me go there right there. So if everyone types in Shiva numeral4 Senate.com. And again, this is not to give you mindless work, but this is really frankly where the rubber meets the road. We have a lot of people giving us great feedback on social media, great emails. Talk is wonderful, but we need action. We need to walk the walk. So if you go to shivaforsenate.com and you scroll, you can give us money too. Money's great, but we need 200 people to give us 1 hour of their day. And you can literally go to this site, Shiva for Senate. Everyone do that. Click on this button called volunteer and give us your email, your first name, your last name, street address, and simply check off this thing which says, I would like to make phone calls. That's it. And put in your message, whatever you want. That's what I need people to do. So if you're listening and you want to help this campaign, go to shivaforsenate.com right now. We need a minimum of 200 people. The more people we have, we can get this done sooner. So go to shivaforsenate.com, click on volunteer, fill in the volunteer form, and just check off the one, I would like to make phone calls. Once you do that, someone will contact you. And if that's too hard, you can just email me directly. I'll go through all the emails. My email address is V as in Victor, VA. It's my personal email address, Shiva, VA Shiva. Jen, if you can post it up there, VA Shiva at VAShiva.com. VA Shiva at VAShiva.com. So go there and send us an email. Everyone do it right now. Go to Shiva for Senate. You can fill it in there or just email me. But that's how we're going to win. VA Shiva at VAShiva.com, or you can go sign up. That's how we're going to win, because this is truly a bottoms-up campaign. We have thousands of volunteers all over Massachusetts holding up signs every day. And by the way, our volunteers are not little school kids. They're not paid hacks. They're working people. We have a doctor. He's a gastroenterologist. In between patients, he's making phone calls. Okay? We have a hairdresser. She sees a client. She takes her break, makes 15 minutes, and she takes 4 breaks and makes phone calls for us. Anyone can do this. The software is so easy to use, but we got to win in Massachusetts. You deserve someone who can actually solve problems. You deserve a real fighter. It's time you realize that we stand up for ourselves. No one else is going to do it. And remember, our winning in Massachusetts, wherever you are in the world, remember, Massachusetts was the place in 1776 where the American Revolution took place. And who did we win against? We won against the aristocracy. The blue bloods, the same blue bloods that people in India were fighting, the same blue bloods people in Ireland were fighting everywhere, the British East India Company. But when those blue bloods lost in Massachusetts, they didn't just disappear, they embedded themselves deeper in places like Massachusetts. And they've been fighting a counter revolution ever since. They hate you and I. They hate everyday people. They want to be aristocrats. So they will even create a coronavirus. They'll even create their own little fake economy for themselves, the stock market, and to hell with the rest of us. They are creating 2 worlds. One world for them and another world for us. And that world for us that they want to create is a dehumanizing world. They want us to be masked, socially distanced, becoming automatons, machines. And those who don't comply will be eliminated. Trust me. And they're going to create a little world for the Gateses, the Kennedys, the Clintons, and all them, where they'll have a little stock market, reduce the population, etc. That's where this is all headed. And when you see people wearing these masks, people running away from each other, people not following real science, and the fact that no scientist except me at a PhD level at MIT has called it out, will further let you know why you need someone like me. You need me. We need me. All of us needs to make sure we win this election. This is a historic moment. I need 200 people. We only have less than 50 days left until the September 1st primary to win this election. We want to win it in a big way, not just by a few votes. I'm talking about we need to win it in a profoundly powerful way, that we annihilate our opposition, that we set off a nuclear bomb of real freedom. That's what we need. Truth, freedom, and health. Truth, freedom, and health. Truth, freedom, and health. That's what this is about. And this campaign is giving everyone out there an opportunity to participate. I need 200 people to help make these phone calls to people who are going to come out and vote. And we all do together, we win. And it's a celebration of us coming bottoms up. That's what we need. That's what we need. So everyone, please go to Shiva for Senate. Go right there, right to this website, click on volunteer. As I said, you can click right on the top, volunteer. It'll take you to the volunteer page. Fill out this form right now. Share this video, but I need 200 people. You can email me or you can fill this out. That's what we need, 200 people. And then we win, we celebrate, and we create history. You are making history. We define our destiny. It's not fate. Now, I also want to finish by saying you can also donate to the campaign. You can go right to the campaign and donate. And as I mentioned before, anyone who donates to this campaign, I'm here to help you understand how everything is a system in the universe. And you get the ebook, System and Revolution. You also get access, and these will teach you the principles of all systems in the universe, your body, any system. And then you also get access to Your Body, Your System, a powerful tool that I wrote. By the way, lawyers don't know how to write software. They don't know how to fix anything. They can't fix their car. They don't even know how an engine. They know nothing. We got to stop voting for them. But when you go and you donate for our campaign, you'll get the book. You'll get access to the software. And if you go to Your Body, those of you who are outside of the United States, please listen carefully. You cannot donate to a federal campaign. But if you want to get access to the same tool, go to Your Body, Your System. And you can click on Get Started Now, and you can do it right there. But anyone who gets this tool, you'll first of all be able to analyze your body as a system using the universal variables of transport, conversion, and storage. You'll find out what kind of system you are. Then you'll find out how you're separated from yourself, okay? And then you'll figure out how the inputs of food, exercise can help you bring you back, no different than an engineer guiding an airplane back to its destination, all right? So this is about you. This is about we. And Massachusetts, I repeat, is a center of pretty much all world oppression. You can pretty much trace any economic collapse, any major famine, any major poverty incident, any major economic collapse to some professor at Harvard. Harvard, that institution must be defunded, okay? That institution is a $50 billion hedge fund that doesn't pay taxes. You pay taxes. They don't pay property tax either. They own, 10% of Cambridge. These people don't work, yet they're telling us what to do. Enough. Enough. It's time we win. Not just win with separating left and right. I mean win so we can go solve real problems. As you know, the three things that I've been promoting as a part of our campaign are: we need freedom, we need digital rights, we need truth, we need citizen science, and we need health. We need the Health Rights Act. We need to eliminate the Kennedy 1962 Vaccination Act. That's what we need to eliminate. We need to eliminate middlemen in healthcare so we can have a profound, direct relationship with our doctors, our healthcare practitioners, East and West, figure out what's the right medicine for the right person at the right time, personalized and precision medicine. That's how we solve things. Truth, freedom, and health. Let me take some questions, Jen, if there are any people who have questions. And then I'll be calling it a night. Let's see who we got. Any questions? Okay. People are saying, can I repeat about the mask? Sadly, I'm not in the US. By the way, if you're not in the United States, you can still make us phone calls, okay? By the way, when you make a phone call using our system, it doesn't show your phone number. We have a separate from number. So it hides your number, and we follow all legal compliance rules, but it's easy. It's easy. It takes about 30 minutes. You can bang out 100 calls. Look, we literally have a surgeon making calls in between the surgeries for us. We have working people taking time during their breaks and doing it. We need 200 people. We need patriots. We need people who want to see this happen. That's what we need. Jen, do we have any questions? What other laws about vaccination need to be removed? Look, the number one law about vaccination is the 1962 Vaccination Act, and the fraud, the lawyer liar, Robert F. Kennedy is not going to talk about that because it's part of his family legacy. and he's a complete charlatan who's misled the health freedom movement. And he's so afraid of me. Now he's starting to do nonsense, okay? What we need is that the 1962 Vaccination Act needs to be repealed. The 1986 Vaccine Injury Law needs to be repealed. We need to create a healthcare model where it's sovereignty between you and your healthcare provider. If you go to the website, and I'll take you right there, I've actually already written a bill for this. This isn't theory. I'm amazed how foolish these people are. They haven't done anything to really propose anything. Let me take you right here. This is the bill. If you go right to the website and you go to issues, you will see that I've actually put together a bill. It's called the Health Rights Act, Digital Rights Act. Here's the Health Rights Act. And if you want to read it, it's the actual bill. It's ready to submit into Congress the day that I'm elected. Okay, so people are asking about that. People need to understand, do they really have the rights to fine us dollars if we don't wear a mask? Look, it's time that people recognize that we, the people, are the ones who create the government. Okay, we elect these people. And you're hearing from an MIT-trained PhD who's considered one of the leading guys on the immune system, this mask stuff is nonsense. Okay, we need to boost the immune system. And you need to start defying these people. The people who are imposing this are very weak, spineless people. You need to challenge them. Challenge them. Be bold. Be human. Don't be a robot. That's the inflection point we're at. Are we going to be compliant robots, or are we going to be human beings? Because when you give away freedom, it's gone. And this entire coronavirus fear-mongering scam is about testing how much humanity they can take away from you at multiple levels. This is why you need someone like me. You need someone like me who will be talking about this on a national platform every day and fighting for you. By the way, I'm only going to serve one term, because then I don't have to, I'm not worrying about re-election. You're going to have a fighter, a fierce fighter. I'm not like going to, be on eggshells, afraid to piss off people. I'm going to do what's right for you. All these other guys, oh, I'll serve 2 terms. No, why do you need 12 years? People do amazing things in, 4 years, 6 years. That's it, 6 years and you're done. Done. But in those 6 years, I'm going to deliver change like has never been seen for you, because you're looking at someone who's been working as a scientist, solving problems as a kid since I was 14. That's what you need. You need people like Franklin. You need people like Jefferson. You need people like Washington. That's who I am. And you deserve the best. You deserve the Michael Jordan of innovation and politics. You don't deserve garbage. What are your plans for small business entrepreneurs? Are there any way I could private talk with you? Sure, you can call me if you want to talk to me about this. Look, small businesses and entrepreneurs are the ones who take risk. They're the ones who should be empowered. So I have a whole proposal for that. Number one, I was very fortunate when I was 14. A mentor took me in and taught me, allowed me to create the first email system. I believe if you're running a small business and you're an entrepreneur and you take young kids in, you should get total tax credit, $5,000 to $10,000 for every time you take a student in and you intern and mentor them, because you are changing someone's life who could be a complete, very productive person in society. That's one thing. For small businesses who struggle, the tax rates should be nil or nothing, because the people we should be taxing are the nonprofits who are milking $1.7 trillion every year from this country. Harvard should be taxed at the full hedge fund rates of 20 to 30%. We should stop taxing people who are entrepreneurs who take big, bold risks. Minimal tax as possible. And when they mentor other people, we should give them tax credits. Yes, we deserve only the best. If we fight for it. Exactly. We deserve only the best. Look, you have to really take this into heart. Why do we keep electing scumbag lawyers? They don't know how to solve a problem. Why is this campaign not front page on every major news channel? Because all of them are in collusion. They want their same insiders. They do not want someone really competent to serve you. That's why it's time that you serve yourself. You help us make phone calls, that we win this election together. This is not going to happen from them. Don't look for Fox News. Don't look for CNN to help us. We have to help ourselves. This victory that we do by us, bottoms up. We have so many amazing people doing standouts. We have people helping us in so many ways. People have other jobs. Our entire campaign is volunteer run. That's why they're so afraid, because one volunteer in our campaign is equivalent to 100,000 of their idiots, okay? Our campaign, probably 1 million of their idiots, actually is doing it for the right reason, not for money, because they want to see real change for their children and their children's children's children. Exactly, we deserve the best. Okay, exactly. Someone just said we have to help ourselves. That's it. That pretty much says it all. That pretty much says it all. That's from Heart Freedom Now. It pretty much says it all. Don't look for them to help you. The Trump victory was a historic one. We don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you, we have an opportunity to define our destiny, our future, by winning Shiva for Senate for Truth, Freedom, and Health. And this is where we start a new beginning, a new revolution where we, the people, win. Not sons and daughters of Kennedys and billionaires, but everyday people. And that's what this election is about. And let's win. So I need people, in closing, to go to Shiva for Senate. It's easy, guys. You just use this product. You can sit there, you can be cooking, and you can make phone calls. We made it that easy. Okay? So send an email to Shiva, vashiva@vashiva.com. And if you have a question, please email me there if you want to set up time, vashiva@vashiva.com. Or go to the website, sign up as a volunteer, and click on wherever you are, you can help. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. But I'm pleased to be back. And I'm sorry I was doing many other things, but we had to do a lot of organizational stuff. I run 3 full-time companies. I'm running for Senate. And then we have to, inspire and bring all of our people together. It's an extraordinary set of things that are going on right now. We must win. We must win. We must win. We have no choice in 2020. Shiva for Senate, Truth, Freedom, and Health. Be the light. Let's win this fight. Thank you, everyone. Be well.